stick that in your mouth. You will not be sorry. Will you shush? Thank you. Might want to put your extraction on. Extract, I whistled at that. Might want to put your extraction on at this stage as well, because the garlic and the chilli and the shallots are going to gas you out a bit. I'm going to suffer through just for the audio quality of this video, but my eyes are hurting a little bit, I will be honest. Oh god, yeah, we're being cooked. I don't know why I'm anthropomorphising all the foods today. Right, I think that's how I start every video. Right, let's get amongst it. Hi. Gonna make a beef rendang curry, which if you've never had before is an Indonesian curry. It's quite spicy, but you can tailor the spiciness however you want. It's got a sort of sweet coconutiness that you might associate from more Southeast Asian Thai sort of curries. But then it's also got the rich, almost Christmassy cloves and cinnamon spiciness that you'd usually associate more with Indian. It's a drier curry, and by that I mean it doesn't have like a big thick sauce gravy like an Indian, like a korma or a masala, anything like that. It hasn't got that sauce to it. It's not dry as in like spit and feathers dry, but it's just its own juices and some pasty sort of stuff. This is a kilo of beef shin. Any sort of stewing beef would probably be alright. This is beef shin, chuck shoulder, something like that. Brisket would probably be alright. You might want to trim a bit of fat off of it. You don't want it too swimming in fat. It's we're gonna kind of stew it with some spices and a load of aromatics and some coconuts. Well, not and some coconuts and some coconut water and some desiccated coconut. So it's nice winter warmer. It's really easy. You just need to we're going to blitz this up in the food processor. We're going to chuck this, we're going to brown that off, then chuck it all in a pot and leave it in the pot for an hour and a half. I'm also going to do a coconut, coriander and lime rice to go with it. I should tie this all up a bit. To go with it, that's further down the line. In here we've got two medium to large, what are they called, escallion, the long thin shallots, two biggish ones there. Got almost a whole head of garlic, like 6 cloves of these really big cloves. Tailor it how you want. I've got 3 red chillies. I have, for the most part, deseeded them. Just sort of control the heat a little bit, but also to stop it from getting a bit gritty. I've got two lemongrass, split down the middle, taken off all the really woody bits on the outside, chopped the bottom off and the woody tops. There's also a lot of ginger in here. So I've got this, and this, and this. Probably maybe about 100 grams of ginger. Couldn't get galangal. If you can get galangal, I'd probably split 50-50, but I couldn't get hold of any galangal. We've also got some kick-up menace, fish sauce, and tamarind paste. Now these are all readily available in most supermarkets these days. Like fish sauce you can get anywhere. Kick-up menace, I think I got this out of Tesco's or Sainsbury's. This is Sainsbury's own brand tamarind paste. You might need to go the world food aisle or just buy the herbs and spices. I've got dry kaffir lime leaves. I'm going to need a couple of these. You can get these fresh in most places, and fresh is bitter, but I couldn't get fresh this time, so I had to get dry. I've got a couple of limes, and here is 100 grams of desiccated coconut. First things we're going to do is we're actually going to toast this off. So 50 grams of this is for the curry, 50 grams is going to be for the rice, but I want to toast it off just to get some flavour in it. Well, it's already got flavour in it, but you know, to make it extra toasty and nice. So medium heat, dry pan. Just going to go in there with that. Spread it all around. Keep an eye on it, because I know coconut isn't a nut. Or is it? I don't actually know. I don't think a coconut is a nut, but you want to keep it moving, keep an eye on it. We don't want it to burn. So yeah, nothing in there, dry pan. Just gonna gently toast that off. You do need to keep an eye on this because it will burn quite quickly because it's dry. Keep it on medium, low heat. And just, we've got all the time in the world. Right, now while the coconut's toasting off, we're going to make our curry paste. Now this is easiest done in a food processor, but you do you. Pestle and mortar it, chuck it all in a pan and just hack it, or not in a pan, on a board and hack it all up. And we're also going to chuck in a shot of water. Won't need much, going to go in with 50 ml to begin with, just to help make it a paste. On with the lid and pulse to blend. You're going to want to stop it every now and again, scrape down the sides, make sure everything gets to meet the blade. You might need to add a bit more water depending on the juiciness of your ingredients. I'll show you what we're aiming for at the end, but you do want a paste consistency. We're not going for super diced veg, we are going for paste here. Right, so here's our curry paste. I mean, there are still discernible chunks of onion and chilli and that in there, but it is very much a paste. And it's quite aromatic. You might not want to get your head over it too much because that chilli shallots will take your head off. Right, so we're going to leave our paste in there for now. It's all good. Coconut should be starting to brown slightly now. It's one of those sort of things you almost don't notice it happening until it, oh yeah, that's brown. So I'm going to let this go just a few more minutes. Whack it in a bowl. Right, that coconut's where I like it. Well, where I'm happy for it to be. Right, construction phase. Job number one. First thing we're going to do is we're going to brown off that meat. Like any stew or braise, you want to fry the meat off first to add a bit of colour. Now, I've had the pan preheating on a low heat. I'm going to whack that up a little bit. I'm going to use that pan as well. Why not? Share the heat, share the love. So I've got about a tablespoon of oil in there, and a little bit less in there because it's a smaller pan. And I'm just going to go in here with most of that in there, and a little bit in there. And we're just going to brown it off. Right, got a decent bit of browning on that meat. Put it out. A fair bit of water in this beef as well. A fair bit of water in all meat. So you want to let that cook off, and then you should leave behind with a nice bit of flavourful brown fond, as well as some fat. Not heaps of fat. The beef shin is relatively lean, and stewing steak's kind of lean, but there'll be some. And we get most of that beef out. Now, still on a medium heat, we're going to go in there with our spice paste, aromatics, ginger, chilli, shallot, lemongrass, garlic. Get all that in there. Now this is going to smell bloody amazing. So you just want to fry that off a bit. Cook that raw edge off of the ginger and the garlic and the shallots. Right, once that's cooked out a bit, it's got rid of a bit of that rawness, I'm going to back in with our beef and any collected juices. We are going to also go in with about half of our coconut. So if you're only making the curry on its own, that's 50 grams. You need that good stir, get that beef coated in coconut, really. Essentially what we're doing here, getting it all, everything interspersed and well distributed. Now once that's all in there, we're going to go add 2 sticks of cinnamon, broken them up a bit, 2 star anise, and 2 cloves. If you haven't got whole, I'd say just go with a teaspoon of each. To this party, we are going to add a tablespoon of fish sauce, which I might get out of here actually. I thought I was going to need that upper bottle. Tablespoon of fish sauce, tablespoon of kick-up anise, which is kind of like a really sweet soy sauce. You can use dark soy sauce if you can't get your hands on this, but have a look out for it. I've got a few recipes on my channel that uses it. It stores in the cupboard relatively well, and it's good on a few different things. Right, and last but not least, we want a tablespoon of tamarind paste. So I'm gonna give that a stir, get them all mixed in. Now we're gonna add 250 ml of beef stock and 500 ml of coconut water. So you can get this pretty much everywhere these days. A lot of people like to drink it. I don't, because I'm not a big sweet tooth person. But this is just the sort of stuff you buy in a carton like this to drink. I'm going to go in with that and use that to wash out our beef stock as well. And last but not least, I'm going to chuck in a couple of kaffir lime leaves. 1, 2. Big one. And we're going to scrape all our sides down. Give that all a stir. Right, now, what we're going to do, high heat, bring it to the boil. Then we're going to cook it with a lid on the hob, on the lowest heat you've got. You want it barely burbling away for about an hour and a half. So you do want to keep an eye on it. Come back every 20 minutes so I give it a stir, just to make sure nothing's getting stuck. Make sure nothing's sticking. But on the whole, you can kind of forget about it. Lowest heat you've got, lid on for about an hour and a half. Then we're going to come back, take the lid off, give it a good stir. We're going to cook it with the lid off just to thicken it up a bit for about another half an hour. So when we come back to do that, we're going to get on the rice as well, because the rice isn't going to take nowhere near as long. But yeah, I'll see you in probably about an hour and a half time. Have a clean down and I'll see you then. Welcome back, campers. Been about an hour and a half. Get the steam out of the way. Get out of the way of the steam. Right, burbling away. Give it a stir. I had to move it to a smaller burner just to make sure it didn't start to, didn't want to cook the granny out of it, you know. So now we're going to leave the lid off for about half hour. Whilst we are doing that, let's start on our rice. We have got 300 grams of washed basmati rice. Put that in a pot, saucepan, if you want to cook it in. To this, we're going to add the rest of our 500. This is a litre bottle of coconut carton of coconut water. 500 in there. We're going to put 500 ml in here. So 300 grams of rice, 500 ml or 500 grams of coconut water. To that, I'm going to add another 150 ml of water, just to be on the safe side, and hit the spurs to it. Whack the lid on it. We're going to bring that to a boil. Once that hits the boil, I'm going to turn the heat right down. Don't touch the lid. Actually, you know what? I forgot. Pinch of salt. Pinch of salt. Hefty pinch of salt in there. Quick little stir just to move that, get that salt dispersed. Bring that to a boil. Once it hits a boil, turn it right down. Once it's turned down, we're going to leave it burn away for 15 minutes. While that's chooching and doing its business, I'm just going to grab some coriander. Don't want crap loads. Want a decent sized handful. If there's any really chunky stems, you can get rid of them. But on the whole, it doesn't matter too much. And we're just going to get a knife, wherever I put my knife. Pull these all together, roll them all up a little bit. And we're just going to work our way through them. We want it fairly small. And voila. Right, so I'll see you in about 15 minutes. Okie dokie, we are pretty much there. So, rice has been cooking for 15 minutes. Ow. We're going to quickly, with a fork, gently fluff it up. Should be nice and sticky, but not puddingy, if that makes sense. Now, what we're going to quickly add to that is chopped coriander. We are going to add the zest of a lime. Careful to just take the careful to just take the skin off, that little, the very first bit of green. We don't want the pith from underneath because that's quite bitter. And we're going to add in our toasted desiccated coconut from earlier. We're going to gently fold all that together. Be careful, you don't want to chuck rice everywhere, but you also don't want to just smash and break up your rice. Right, so we're pretty much everywhere we need to be. What we're going to do is we're going to give our curry another little stir. We should have reduced right down. So see what I mean when it's a dry curry, there's not lashings of sauce on here. Where's me? There's not lashings of sauce in here, it's just the meat and the juices and the little bit of gravy that we've made from that curry paste. Just cook right down. And what we're going to do, we're going to taste that. We'll see what that needs. So, might need a little bit of salt, depending on your stock and a few other things. It might need a bit of salt, might need a bit of pepper. I'm also going to go in with the juice of a lime, just to kind of wake it up a little bit. Help kind of balance out the sweetness, cut through that richness. That is pretty much us done. You can fish out the whole spices if you want. So what I say is get yourself a heap of coconut, sticky coconut, lime, coriander rice, and then slop on a nice, slop, technical term, big old portion of the Rendang curry. Beautiful. So, it's a curry, nice winter warmer. You make it spicier as relaxed. Relaxed? What's the opposite of spicy? Spicy or not spicy, as you want, depending on what chillies you want to put in there, how much chillies you want to put in there. But it's kind of like a bit of a stew, a bit of a braise. It's a great winter warmer. You can save some desiccated coconut if you want. I ain't got any left now. Sprinkle on top just to garnish it with. A bit of coriander to just finish it off. Or nothing. I mean, that's fine as it is. Stick that in your mouth. You will not be sorry. Simple. Few bit more fancy ingredients. Not necessarily fancy. Just not necessarily store cupboard staples. But all of it will keep in your cupboard for ages. I've got a load of other ingredient recipes on here that use most of them. Nice bit of beef. And just stick it in a pot and leave it for an hour and a half, 2 hours. You just can't go wrong, especially this time of year. So, there you go. It's another beautiful one, if I say so myself. Can't go wrong with a Rendang curry. And that rice as well is a banger as well. It's quick and it's simple. You just need some coconut water, bit of coconut. You can leave out the coconut, just go with the lime, the coriander or whatever. But that'll go with any curry, anything that you normally have a bit of rice with. That rice will go beautiful. I'm going to retire to my abode and eat that because it's beautiful and I'm starving and it's cold and that'll warm me up lovely. That's pretty much it. I'll see you when I see you. Be good. Can't be good, be lucky. Like, comment, subscribe and all that jazz. Ooh. Alright people, adios and I'll see you later. Bye bye.